And up here in the top left of StarStation, it is the incredible Miracle Zerg ByuL. And of course, he's going to be up against the Protoss from ZvP. This is herO.
And I just want to clarify earlier that you can fold a rectangular paper in half, but you can't fold it diagonally in half. Is what I meant to say. I don't know if I clarified that, because like I'm sure a lot of people out there are like, wait a minute. Yes, you can.
Wolf doesn't know that you can fold the paper in half.
I remember when you were in school, did your teacher tell you, because I guess you didn't learn folding, but like,
Yeah,
Presto was...
that wasn't on our curriculum.
See, the way I fold my paper right now, I'll show it to you, is hot dog style, right? But if you fold it the other way, it's hamburger style. See? Hamburger style.
Were you guys seriously taught that? Like
hamburger style and hot dog style, man. Hot dog style is you hold the paper where it's longwise.
Yeah, that's how we learned about it. Like, you fold it long ways, or you fold it, you know,
short ways. Like,
yeah,
if you have a piece of notebook paper top to bottom is hamburger style, but then left to right or left right to left.
You guys can all try this at home. Get a sheet of paper, top to bottom, hamburger style.
Yeah. So I'm just letting you guys know that's how it was done, where I'm from. But we have a hatchery first here, and dare I say it, potentially a double hatch before pool, because the drone is going out.
Yeah, he is sending that guy up there. He has enough for a spawning quill, but he hasn't made it.
Yep, it's definitely going to be double hatch before pool.
Yeah, that drone you guys see on his map, he is moving that way.
Just making sure he's not getting scouted.
And a good idea there. Double hatch before pool. That's player map.
Yeah, that's kind of risky, but there's no cannon going down here for herO, who recently won IEM. So that's something to note about him. He's coming off of a very recent win. Very big hype on that.
And also about ByuL, you were talking to me before about how he was, I think, in the third place match for the round of 8 for IM, but he didn't get to play, so now he was put in the first match.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to show him off.
Yeah, just yesterday he was in the roster, but he didn't get to play. And I feel like for ByuL, he's got a lot of foreign fans. He played for Fnatic for quite some time, and he's always been a really good Zerg. A lot of players say that he's really underrated. They're saying, well, ByuL's actually one of the best Zergs out there, but nobody talks about it. And the reason why is he's not often in televised matches. So for IM, I think they want to say, hey, ByuL is actually still doing really well. They put him out a lot of the time in GSTL, back when IM was playing in that league. And I feel like this is kind of a similar situation. And since he didn't get to play yesterday and it's preseason, I feel like that may be the reason why they decided to put him out here first today, just to make sure that no matter what, he gets to show off his skills.
And I'm just listening to you right now, Wolf. I'm excited to see what he has to bring to the table.
Well, I'm glad I was able to give you that emotion.
Because herO, you know, ZvP herO, also a very well-known and very good player for ZvP.
Yeah, look at this Zealot, actually, by the way. It's maybe going to be able to get a drone. Gets one, maybe two. It's all about the micro here before the lings are out. When you see a double hatch before pool, you can always be annoying like this, and then make the Zealot be in between two places like a Mineral Line and a Geyser. Doesn't make sure it doesn't get surrounded, but oh, kind of messes it up there. It does get surrounded. Mothership Core could recall save him, but it's not worth it.
Recalling save Zealot, not the best play.
He didn't have enough energy.
Yeah.
Anyway. But now he knows he needs to make a lot of Zerglings because he sees the gateways are being added. He sees 3 gateways. And with a 4-gateway follow-up to this, you can oftentimes lose your third base or even lose the game if you don't take it seriously. 4 Zealots already being looked at. Oh, forced cancel with a kill on the pylon.
And that is big. That's going to take a bunch of that aggression back. Going to delay the push at least. Stalker also might get picked off here. Kiting it pretty well, but extra Zerglings being added. Going to corner it up against the wall. That Stalker is going to go down.
Now, at first glance, if you're watching this and you're a newer player, you probably think, wow, this is awesome for the Zerg. Zerg's way ahead. But the Zerg had to make so many Zerglings that a lot of his larva was wasted. The Zerglings are now basically no longer useful, and he's very low on drones. So the follow-up here being a robotics could even be another timing attack, and this is very scary because he's just so low on drones. That's why he's making a lot of lings right now, because he knows this is actually an opportunity for him to maybe try to break through and do some damage. This wall set up here, Zealots meanwhile, maybe going to assassinate a queen, then recall back. If you save 3 Zealots, can be worth it, depending on what you get with it.
Yeah, and I have to agree, making a bunch more Zerglings. I think he had extra 12 coming in for extra aggression, was poking onto that gateway, possibly trying to take it out.
I don't think he's going to recall this because he sees how many lings there are. it's his choice to make. Yeah, with the Mothership Core actually helping out, he's going to be able to almost kill all the wings anyways. And yeah, he does.
Except that one lucky guy who did get away.
Speed wasn't done until the last second there, so that doesn't help out. And now the Mothership Core with tons of energy to use for overcharges and time warps.
I'd like to see exactly how many drones ByuL has, because he was making Zerglings and drones at the same time. He did have the extra production out of the extra hatchery and the extra queen, of course.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see the actual number. He is droning up pretty hard here now.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 3 hatcheries, it's definitely a lot more larva available to you. So it wouldn't be as bad as if you made that many Zerglings on 2 bases. And now he's using that time that he's bought after you cleaned up those zealots and all those extra Zerglings he made to control the map. He can finally safely add those drones, get his tech up, get his lair going, his roach warren. I thought he might try to commit to something with his links, but he didn't quite make as many as I thought. As you guys are aware, we don't actually have a PC that we can control, so we can only see the same things that you guys are seeing. There's a sentry drop coming in here to the main base, and if he actually gets it off, this could do a lot because there's no roaches out just yet. And will he get the force field? He will. No, he misses it.
Misses the force field. That's going to take away a lot of the power of this sentry drop into the main base. He's going to keep him here for now.
Yeah, I mean, he might as well, but he better not lose any of these. Oh my god, he lost one. This is actually starting to look terrible for herO.
Lost herO on a failed sentry drop into the main. Not able to do any damage there, and now ByuL on the counterattack. And at the same time, herO actually adding a third.
I don't think he has enough Zerglings to force a cancel here, but Nexus is barely newly started warping, so it doesn't have a lot of hit points just yet. And with all the sentries are here now, though, it's definitely not going to be able to get canceled. We'll get a probe, and we'll want to leave right away without losing any more Zerglings. But he sees the timing. Roach is go home too. Roach speed now halfway done, and a Spire is started.
Very interesting there. At the same time, Twilight Council started for herO.
Now with the Spire, at this timing, it looks like probably going to be Mutalist, but he could always just leave it there and get Corruptors when all these scouts. Because it could be fast Colossi with this third base. It's not on the other hand. So Mutalist could do something here. It just depends on how the transition goes for herO. And this is something that ByuL will not be able to capitalize on unless he scouts. This could actually easily force the cancel on this hatchery. I don't think there's any use nearby.
Yeah, very nice Warp Prison placement there. He is able to warp in 4 Zealots, knocking onto that hatchery. Sending us some Zerglings here to harass in the third.
Yep, hatchery, we'll never know if that was canceled or not, but there's a wall here for the Zerglings, and he's just not able to get through initially, but now he's going to get through. And where are the warp pins? Looks like he was just a little bit late.
Yeah, I think the warpins were on cooldown there. He did warpin at the hatchery, but now warping in a bunch. But he has a bunch of roaches here also for these Zealots.
This army is in a dangerous place right now. He's going to take out all those roaches. Good micro on the Immortals. Meanwhile, Zealot harassment happening. Killed that third base. Now he's going to the main, or fourth base, I should say. The Roach is still on their attack. Those are both players under attack while attacking themselves. The Spire is targeted. He doesn't warp in any additional units. He just flies the Warp Prism away. Roach is, meanwhile, doing some damage in the main here. Will he get the Spire? It's getting a little bit low. I don't think he's going to get it.
Yeah, not quite able to get that Spire. He did knock out. He's almost gets the Spire. Actually, as I was saying that, the Roaches here in the main base not doing too much damage onto herO. And he does have now 11 mutas in production.
Yep, 11 mutas. That's so many. It could do so much damage to the mineral lines of herO. On the other hand, it's been spotted, so he knows.
Yeah.
And Blink is almost done, so if he can just continue to build up his Stalker count, maybe these mutas will be repelled without doing a lot of damage. It depends on if he has his Stalkers well spread. And I don't think he has any cannons right now either, so that's something that could definitely hurt him. He's using this Warp Prism to actually buy as much time as possible, drawing a few of those mutas away.
Yeah, he had a bunch of Zealots actually in the Warp Prism. It looked like he may have wanted to go towards the left side and maybe try to take down that Spire a bit later, but not able to do that. Spotted by the mutas. Continuing muta production is ByuL. Probably going to get a bunch of units and try to do some harassment onto herO here.
Yep, here he goes, and there's no cannons up, and the Stalker's a little bit out of position. Blink is now done, so he could go in for the Blink. Does go for it. Has to cancel a pylon there, it looks like, and he's just attacking from all angles. Goes in here with the Zerglings at the third base. Unfortunately, the cannon's still holding strong. The Immortal there as well. Uh-oh, these mutas not where they want to be. One more Blink could actually be disastrous for him.
Able to take out 3 mutas there. He is starting 6 more, trying to come in here and take out that cannon. Doesn't quite get another Blink onto the mutas. And I have to say, not the best control out of both of these players.
Yeah, both of them making minor mistakes here and there, but losing those mutas really hurts. But he has so much gas, and he's had this base up for so long, that fast third, because he went double hatch before pool, that his mutas count gets higher and higher. and it could actually become overwhelming if we don't see Archons and Storm Tech coming out anytime soon. And so far we don't. +2 is nearly done, but his Stalker count is still relatively small. He's just trying to stick with just Stalkers and only Stalkers alone, and herO the Swarm, sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah, sometimes it definitely is not enough. Coming in here with the Mutas now to try to do some more damage. Got to be careful not to get blinked on. He does see the Dark Shrine at the same time, so he does get some information there. While he goes in with the Mutas, he does come in here with a small force, but some nice force fields to block that off from the bulk of the army, and another blink in here to take out a bunch more units of ByuL.
Another counterattack with the Mutas going out at the same time. He forces the blink to go up to the top, and then Mutas come in the back. They're going to get some damage done here for sure. Forcing another blink in the main base. He should be able to escape to the left side this time while killing the probes, and that's exactly what he does. DTs are active, but Sport Callers are being made, as you can see on the production tab. He saw this earlier, and look at the Mutas just trying to find an escape path here, taking out one Stalker, but a few Mutas going down at the same time.
Yeah, and a Spore in the base. He does have his Dark Templar here. He's going to probably try to focus that down before he can get spotted and before any units come to kill it. He does have one Spore over there at that base, but this Dark Templar RS is going to force ByuL at least to come back and deal with it right now.
Yeah, he sends a few Zerlings back here with just barely enough to be to kill that DT. But the other DT killed the Spine Crawler, meaning that even though there's detection at the natural, he's still taking losses. And with this army coming across the map and the DTs attacking that 5th base, he's going to lose the 5th.
Yeah, he's definitely going to lose the 5th. He has a big Blink Stalker army, has a bunch of Immortals in there for the amount of roaches that ByuL has as well. And with this heavy Muta army, I mean, he has lost a bunch, but he still does have a lot of Mutas still, and he's still producing them. So like you said before, he probably has to lean more towards that Archon production, or at least try to get Storm up at this point, but he's not doing either right now.
Yeah, this Muta's count is not quite enough. He's going to need his early support. He actually loses a lot of gas units there. This has been a pretty solid defense from herO. A little bit shaky at first when he was trying to blink his Stalkers between bases, didn't have enough static defense up. But I'm liking how he's playing it out now. I really, really would like to see, on the other hand, High Templars coming out. I'd like to see Archons. Okay, even making these DTs into Archons would be a great choice. He just morphed into 4 DTs. One of them will be morphed, or 2 DTs will morph into 1 Archon here. Stalkers blinking underneath the wheels does get 1, 2. Good trades on the other hand for ByuL. He's actually stacking his meters up so he can get the massive amount of damage done and escape easily. Yeah,
able to take out, I think, 4 Stalkers there and backing off. Just a little poke damage there. He still has 4 bases up. He's rebuilding that 5th. He did start that second gas. I noticed the observer noted before that he didn't have that second gas at the 4th base, so eventually getting that second gas there, and now probably going to get some more gas. If you look at his minerals and gas, he is hurting a little bit on gas, and since he is making so many of those gas-heavy mutas, he is going to really need that for the rest of this game.
Exactly, especially for taking up later to the Hive, as we see here, halfway done. Something to note is, with these 2 Archons, you can actually fight these mutalists head-on, especially with that Zerling support. Even with Zerling support, though, if the Archons get shots off on the Lings, they can hit the mutas and the Lings at the same time. They do air to ground and air to air at the same time with Splash. And it looks like herO wants to fight this. Decent forces on the left side. Where are the Archons? They're not with this army.
I don't see the Archons here. He does blink the rest of his Stalkers back. He's going to try to take out that Immortal, but he does back off. I think a good trade there for ByuL, actually.
Yeah, really nicely done. With no Archons, he can easily fight this. 2 Overseers will fall on the other hand. It's kind of painful. And Lings trying to go for a run by. How much can the Mutalists get done on the other hand? At the natural, here's so much being done already. The probes stack up. You never want that to happen against Mutalists with that bounce damage. There's not enough Stalkers here. He just fights them directly, takes out several of the probes, and now he's just going to be able to escape the left side again. There are those Archons going for a counterattack.
And this is what ByuL has to deal with now. He was coming in here. He did kill a bunch of probes as well as trading very well against the Stalkers, but at the same time, taking out the 4th base's herO with that Archon and heavy Blink Stalker army.
Yep. Archons here taking out a few of those drones on the right side of that base. He killed the 4th base. The 5th base has been remade. It's still mining right now. But with all these Stalkers coming across the map, herO could actually just try to not only kill this base, but end the game. He's traded so well against the Mutalists. He was always able to get a few probes, but he never transitioned out of the Mutalist composition. He got a Hive, and then never did anything with it. And with this only Mutalist composition against Archons and this many of them, it's easy for him to kill a base and then warp back. Warps back here, not at the right expansion on the other hand, but he's still got a sizable army to continue the base trade.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, ByuL just keeps going for these counterattacks, and it's working out pretty well for them, but he can't just recall, and herO's army right now is so big. It's just so much bigger, and he's still able to deal head-on with all of these mutas, especially with all the Archons. He can continue blinking after the mutas, picking them off one by one. going for separate bases at the same time with the high mobility of the Blink Stalkers, and herO is just taking ByuL down bit by bit.
Yeah, bit by bit indeed, and right now the problem for herO is that he lost his third base and he never has a fourth. But even though it's gone, he still has the stronger army, and if he can actually trap these Mules, that would be great. He blinks away from Muse. The second wave of Stalkers will blink in. Loses an Immortal for a few Muse. Actually an okay trade for ByuL there, but it's not about these little trades, it's about the big picture. And the big picture here is that herO has the better army. He's remaking his base, and an army of Blink Stalkers, 45 of them, are coming towards his base. I think he's going to have to commit to a trade now. He's going to have to try to eliminate his opponent first. I don't know if it's going to work.
We're going to have to see. He is coming in here with all of his Blink Stalkers, targeting down all of these Spine Crawlers. So many Spine Crawlers made because ByuL keeps going for these counterattacks, and he's going to commit definitely. ByuL has all of his army is in here. He's going to try to take down all the buildings as quickly as possible, while herO does to try to do the same exact thing.
Look at that unit tab at the top left. If those 7 probes are gone, that means no more bases can be built, and Amulis can kill structures so quickly, and they're already in the main base, already at the natural, doing damage here. Even though it looks like herO has the better army and he can't lose this, it's definitely still a possibility. 1 probe left, just 1 probe left. If all the Nexi are gone and all the probes side, it means he can build no more structures. And he cannot lose that Mothership Core. The Mothership Core is taking so much damage in the main base right now. Keep a look at that on the unit tab. If that goes down, that means no more recall ability and no more time warps.
Like you said before, he now has no probes on the map, whereas ByuL is creating a hatchery in that southern location. So even though herO has this big army, ByuL able to take out all the probes.
And if ByuL can kill all of these structures, the last structures left, then it's all going to be over. So going for a big attack here now to come back to save his base, try to take out these Mules. That's nowhere near enough Stalkers. The Mules can actually fight this. He needs the rest of his Stalkers with his army, and the Mules are just trying to target down building after building. They can fly away. They've got that mobility. They've got that regen. There's really no Archons here, and he has to fight with Stalkers alone altogether. Thing is, ByuL's got a base being built. His Zerglings can split away from the Mutalisk. This is actually so close.
Yeah, all of these mutas doing so much damage to herO. He does not have any more Archons in this army, so like you said before, it is very easy for ByuL to fight face up, but he doesn't have to do that right now. He just keeps on taking out a bunch of buildings while at the same time keeping that base in the bottom, trying to keep that up, whereas herO has no idea that it's building right now.
Yeah, he doesn't know where the structure is, and he doesn't actually even know that one's being built at all because he hasn't killed the Hive. If he kills the Hive in the main base, then he knows that there's a hatchery somewhere else on the map. It's just taking so long for him to kill that. DTs, though, are on the map, and if he kills the Hive, there's no more lair. With no more lair, that means there's no more, of course, detection. He has 2 Overseers on the map right now. The structure tab is something that will, of course, have cycling through here so you guys can see. Look, this is what is left for both of these players. Keep a close eye on that. The DT does find the hatchery.
Does find the hatchery and doing a bunch of damage to the rest of the bases, but he does not see that base at the top like our observer just mentioned. The Hive does go down, and he will not be able to make any more observers.
One Overseer is down already.
And the other one trying to get away, but with the Blink Stalkers chasing after, he's probably going to be able to take it out if he's paying attention.
Yeah. I don't know if he has vision of the high ground there, so he might have to walk around, but that one Overseer, the last hope here, and the Phoenix Scouts going across the map to find the bases. He finds the drone depot over here, and here comes one DT alone, going to be able to do so much for this. Meanwhile, the Mules are trying to find something, trying to get something done here, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Basically, he can split his Stalkers now, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, this is looking so good for herO. Even though he doesn't have a Nexus, he doesn't have probes, he has so many Blink Stalkers, still 31, as well as a bunch of sentries to create those elucidations to see exactly where the bases are, and he has this DT, and I'm not sure if ByuL has an Overseer.
Well, he's got one, yeah.
He's got two,
okay,
actually,
so
yeah.
He morphed the second one, it looks like, while his Hive was dying, so 2 of them alive, one over here at the bottom right. Maybe that was even the first one that survived and I thought it died. But either way, there's 2 Overseers left. And one is constantly hitting, of course, the bottom right, but being at the bottom right is not where it needs to be. There are no hatcheries left on the map, which means he's going to be revealed if he doesn't build another one. And all of the non-extractor buildings will bleed out over time, including that Spire.
And that's going to be a big problem for ByuL. I don't think herO even has to fight this face up. It looks like he could probably do that, but with this DT on the map that the mutas are having a hard time dealing with, I'm not sure what ByuL's going to do here. Do you think he's going to go and try to kill all the buildings before he loses all of his own?
Yeah.
Or do you think herO will do a good job of defending that with this split up army?
The thing is, that's basically all he can do. And unfortunately for him, I don't think it's going to happen. All that herO needs to do is continue to poke with his DTs and call the extractors, because everything else will bleed out. There's 3 extractors left. If those are gone and he can defend his buildings until the spawning pool and the Spire bleed out, that's all he needs to do. So he's just kind of clumping his Stalkers around here. And the Changelings knows a DT here. 1 extractor of the 3 will fall.
And the problem for ByuL right now, I should say, is that it's so hard to get the vision onto the DT because having that Overseer on the map is so dangerous against all these Blink Stalkers.
Yep. Stalkers coming here for the chase on the Muse. This game isn't over yet. ByuL could somehow maybe be able to target his buildings on. There's very few left.
And the problem for herO, actually, is that he can't build any more buildings. So if ByuL continues coming in here, taking out building by building, maybe he gets all the buildings first. That's really what it's going to come down to, like you said.
Spire's already bleeded out. The spawning pool's getting close. 2 extractors left. They're both in the main. It's like he forgot about this Overseer. I mean, yeah, it's hard to fly it out with all the Stalkers there, but there's enough dead space at the back. I mean, the thing is, it's almost irrelevant because he somehow still has to deal with these Stalkers. And if you can't even do that to kill the buildings, it doesn't matter what else happens with the DT. It's just basically a clock he's on right now.
Exactly. Still with that DT on the map, just going around doing his job. He just keeps on killing those extractors and killing the rest of the buildings that are left for ByuL. ByuL, like you said, I think he might have forgotten about that Overseer.
Oh, don't forget also, okay, so something I totally forgot to mention that, of course, ByuL does know, is that he can still make up to 6 more extractors with those drones. He has enough minerals to do that, so he can just keep making extractors. Overseer's been spotted, which is kind of funny that ByuL might actually now remember about it and could use it. But even if he sends 1 muta to kill the DTs with that could be useful. Just kind of ignoring it, leaving it there right now. Ooh, tries to pick off that gateway. He's not able to. The Mulus count is dwindling, but so are the structures of herO here.
It's really a race against who can destroy the buildings of the other member. You know, like you said before, ByuL has so many drones on the map, he can create up to 6 more extractors. So if he gets them down in random different places, he can delay for a very long time.
I don't know why he's not killing the extractors. That's what his priority should be right now. Again, I can't see everything on the map right now. I can see the same things you guys are seeing, so I'm eliminating. Okay, so now he goes in. If he kills these 2 extractors, the spawning pool, of course, will eventually bleed out. So he needs to ignore the spawning pool here and just kill those. Now he goes for the spawning pool first.
Going for the spawning pool first.
An interesting decision. The Mulus count's still relatively high here.
And this is putting ByuL on a clock now. He has to do something. He has to start at least making the extractors. If he's thinking like us, you know, to try to at least make enough buildings to stay alive until he can possibly take out all the buildings.
Yeah, where are the
herO.
drones? He's got to have some drones ready to make extractors if he still thinks he has a chance in this game. Otherwise, he's going to lose it in about 10 seconds. Okay, there's another one. Sorry, we don't have the production tab, but when I see only the structure tab, it only shows completed structures.
And the 1 completed extractor does go down. Only 1 being built right now, I believe, and that is up. And now herO sees it. He immediately targets it there with his DT.
He's got drones near extractors ready at any moment in time to remake them, though. And if he's not careful, the Mulus sneak by and kill all of his buildings while he's up. Because even though, if you look at that, it's like, okay, he's got a robo, a forge, an assimilator, 2 pylons, and 2 warp gates. That's going to take forever to kill. Some of them are low on shields and on health, like this one. Oh, this is so tense. I don't think that ByuL can win. But he is really fighting here. Uh-oh, the DT's find the drones.
And he's actually going to surround the DT with his drones. He is going to be able to take out that DT.
Is that the last DT? I think it is.
That is the last DT.
Okay, dancing hallucinated Colossi. Never thought I'd see the day when we had that. But he's now going to the main base. And you know what, with the DT gone, this changes everything.
This changes everything. The Stalkers are not in position. He has the mutas in here, able to take out 2 pylons, and he's probably going to take down this robo as well.
If he gets the assimilator, I can't get it. Loses another Mulus. I need to see the Mulus count. I really want to know how many there are because there may be a point where there's just a critical mass of Mulus where you can just ignore the Stalkers and kill the last buildings. And he has to start sending Blink Stalkers across the map to kill the extractors. And if he starts doing that and the Mulus find some of the Stalkers and then kill them 1 by 1, and that's how ByuL can try to get back into this game besides, you know,
This is so close. Like, I mean, like we were saying before, we thought that ByuL was pretty much dead, but with the DT, he lost it to all of those drones in the middle of the map with the Overseer. That was actually very well played by ByuL to corner the DT, and now with no DT on the map, he is going to have to try to send out some Stalkers, but like we said before, if he sends the Stalkers too far forward, the mutas are just going to come in and kill all of the buildings of herO.
Oh, this is actually so crazy. I mean, I don't think... okay, something else that could happen. Something we saw at WCG as well, actually, it was a different type of, is a stalemate, where the Stalkers all camp, and then the Mulus just decide not to attack because they'll end up losing, and then he never moves out with the Stalkers, and we have a draw. It probably won't happen, though, because these two players are so high level, and they both have scouting tactics. One has the ability to make changelings to go across the map to find Stalkers going, and of course a very mobile force of Mulus. The other is of course hallucinated phoenixes that he can use to scout where the drones are and try to find what's going on. So I don't think there's ever going to be a moment where both players are so uncertain that they just sit in camp and then there's a stalemate. But it's a possibility, a very small one. but it is there.
Yeah, that's an awesome point. That's actually going to create a very exciting game towards the end of this. It's going to come down definitely to skill. Both players are not just going to go, sit next to their buildings like you said before and wait for the stalemate or try to force a draw or anything. They're going to try to win it for each other because they both have an equal chance of winning.
See how he picked off the stalkers there? This is exactly how he can try to get back into this game. Every time a stalker or two goes out, if he sees it, he goes and kills it. If all the stalkers go, or half the stalkers go, he can kill those easily with his Mulis. What I saw herO doing just a moment ago was faking it, so it looked like he left with a lot of his stalkers, and the rest of his stalkers around the corner ready to blink in and capitalize on that. Okay, he's actually going to try to keep half and half. This could be a big problem for him, though, if the Mulis actually just target that down and get away.
I just want to see the Mutalisk count, like you were saying before. If he has enough Mutalisk, I mean, just looking at it, maybe he could, but I think he's just going to use it to try to get it, and these Stalkers are not in a good position. If ByuL goes in here, he could possibly get that Assimilator right now.
Yeah, and I think he can easily get the Assimilator. The question is, will the Stalkers that are going across the map to kill his Extractor kill it faster? Does he have all of his Stalkers together? Yeah, he does.
I think
now.
He brought him back.
Yeah.
And that's big. That's just another building down for herO. ByuL now herO only with the Forge and 2 Warp Gates. And right now ByuL only with that 1 Extractor, but the drone's in position to take any other Extractors. We're seeing herO actually camp his Stalkers next to his buildings.
This is actually a game I feel that no longer herO can win. It can only be a stalemate, because if he leaves his base, he doesn't have enough now. And I mean, it's still possible. I mean, I'm not saying like it's a 0% chance, but it starts to look more and more likely that he's just been dominated here by the Mulis and how much control they have over the map. And with all the changelings and all the drones, how scattered they are, there's no way ever he's going to be able to go and snipe the Extractor before another one's made. It's not going to happen. He would have to do that now 5 times with 125 minerals and more than 5 drones in more than 5 different places to be able to make the Extractors. I don't think this is going to happen.
Yeah, I wonder if herO knows exactly how many drones are on the map. I mean, he saw them actually kill his own DT, so he probably has a good idea. And he can't know how many minerals, though, that ByuL has, but he has to assume that he has at least enough to make a bunch more Extractors. He just has to assume. So in his mind, he's probably like, okay, I could possibly send out a Stalker Force and take out the Extractor, but there's got to be one going up in another place. There's probably not much hope for him here, I'd have to say.
Well, now he splits, okay? And we don't know exactly how many minerals there are. I can look at that and eyeball it, and I think that...
It's like 16 or 17.
With half these Stalkers down, he could just get... No, he doesn't... He doesn't have the confidence to attack that gateway. If he could snipe the gateway... does he remake the Extractor? Okay, he did.
Oh, he just did. Just in time there. But the Stalkers see it immediately, and they have Blink. They're going to go over there. He has a bunch of drones in opposite sides of the map, so...
It looks like... There's this. He kills it before before he's able to remake another one, so... That was crazy. The biggest frustration for me in that whole game was not being able to tell exactly how many Mulis there were, because as it turned out in the end, the Mulis were not enough to just target down the gateways, which was something I wasn't really able to determine. It's also because it was constantly 1 or 2 Mulis being picked off here and there, and at first it was like, oh, we could easily do it. Now, okay, obviously not. So CJ Antis takes that first win.
I mean, that's a pretty crazy way to start off the set, I have to say. That was in basically a stalemate mode for about 10-15 minutes there, where both players were just feeling it out and deciding how it was going to go.
Yeah.
I think key moments there were where the Dark Templar got taken out. That took a ton of power away from herO, where he was out on the map able to snipe Extractors here and there and snipe all the buildings, which he used it for earlier. But then once that went down to the drones, funnily enough, he just didn't have that presence out there, and he had to split. In the end, it did work out for him, but for a while there, he just didn't have the confidence to move out.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, for a while,